Hey guys, it's Robin, and I wanted to take some time to share a couple of things with you that I hope will help you navigate these crazy waters that we find ourselves in. There is a principle that I share with the women at our church, and I always say this. Freed women, free women. Now, fellas, don't clock out because I still am including you in this, so just stay with me. So I always say freed women, free women, and this is what I mean by that. I truly believe that if you get free in a certain area, you should have an expectation on yourself that you're going to go help another sister get free. Let's say you used to struggle with self-esteem challenges and you start to understand you're feeling good about yourself. Well, if you see another sister struggling in that way, I think you should have an expectation on yourself that you're going to go help her. Let's say you've learned how to move up the corporate ladder and you see another sister struggling. She can't seem to get her foot in the door. I think there should be an expectation on yourself that you're going to go help that sister out. Well, that same principle, I believe, applies right now. Listen, you, the person looking at me right now, you have some strengths, you have some skills, you have a gift that I need. I believe I have some things that you need. One of my strengths, one of my skills is to help people navigate tough situations, and this is a tough situation. So if I bring my resources and you bring your resources and he brings his resources, we can get through this together. I have a girlfriend who is an amazing educator, so she's been doing these free videos helping us parents who are homeschooling all of a sudden get through it and learn some things that we can do to make it a bit easier. I have another girlfriend who is an amazing producer of live events. So she just wrote an article on LinkedIn that helps pastors stream their services more effectively. Now, I already know that you were in D Nice's party because it was over 100,000 folks there. Did you see me there? I was there. I was there. And so he's using his skill and his strength to help us stay uplifted and help us be encouraged. And so with that in mind, I'm going to share some strategies right now that I think can help you navigate what we're facing. Then I need you to share your resources with me. And I think if we all put our resources in the middle of the room and I can pull on you, you can pull on me, we will get through this together. I've been declaring we will be better after this. Even when things look scary for me, even when this situation rises up or this situation rises up, I just turn to it and I say we will be better after this. And so this is my way of supporting you. I want you to support me so that when we get through this, we can high five one another and say we did it together. All right? So I want to share with you what I am calling the ABCs of this pandemic. There are three things I want you to do, these three strategies I want you to employ, and then I want you to comment in the comment section and just let me know which one of these stands out to you the most, okay? So a couple of weeks ago, I was working with a client who was telling me how she has gotten into this habit of getting caught up in hypotheticals. She said, Robin, I just come up with all these scenarios. Maybe this is going to happen, or maybe this is going to happen. And she said, and I can't seem to stop. And so this was the question I asked her. I said, okay, so after you've gone through all of these scenarios, you've thought about this, and you thought about that, and you thought about that. How do you feel at the end? She says, I feel overwhelmed. I feel anxious. I feel frustrated. I said, okay, how many of the scenarios have played out? She said, they haven't played out at all. She said, actually, I'll come up with this, and this, and then a whole nother situation happens. I said, okay, so you've started using the strategies or the strategy of coming up with hypotheticals. You're telling me it leaves you feeling anxious. And then number three, you're telling me that coming up with the hypothetical didn't even help because it didn't happen. I said, so what you have to ask yourself is, why am I using a strategy that's inviting anxiety, that's inviting unrest to dwell in my space, but it's not even helping? This is what I want you to consider, all right? This is the first strategy, the ABCs of this pandemic. I want to encourage you to learn to align your thoughts with what it is you believe. So what I had to teach my client is that when you're coming up with all these different scenarios, you're taking yourself down a rabbit trail, and then you end up feeling anxious and overwhelmed when you could step back, think through the process based on what it is you believe. So I'm a woman of faith, and so I believe that God is in control. I believe that no matter how crazy things are, that I can trust him. And so when I find myself feeling some kind of way, because listen, I'm not going to even suggest to you that you're not going to feel overwhelmed at times, that you're not going to feel anxious. But what I am telling you is you get to decide how you're going to deal with that emotion. And many times how we feel is just a result of what we're thinking. Your feeling is there to give you information. So when you feel whatever it is you feel, I want you to pause to get clear about what you're thinking. And then I want you to take that thought and align it with what it is you believe. If you're not a person of faith, maybe you want to align it with your value system. I just want you to take that thought, put it on trial, and say, thought, are you aligned with what it is I believe? That's the A. Align your thinking with what it is you believe. Here's the B. I want you, as much as you can, to build a schedule. We have got to find some normalcy in the midst of all of this crazy. So as much as you can. Now, this is based on personality. So for my personality, I tend to be a bit type A. So I have to write my schedule down. I want it to be by the hour, and I have to give myself some room to let it be more flexible, but I like my schedule outlined. For someone else, you might want to say, okay, Rob, I'm not going to do a schedule, but I'm going to say every day, these 3 things I want to get done. I want you to build a schedule the way it works with your personality, but I want you to do that so that you can create some normalcy. And then here is the C. I want you to make a promise to me. As a matter of fact, in the comment section, I want you to put, I promise. I want you to promise me that you're going to stay connected. If you've been rocking with me at any period, you know what I'm about to say. God never intended for us, say it with me, to live on Isolation Island. That was never his intent. So during this time, I need you to promise me you're going to find creative ways to stay connected. If you got to make have a schedule of how many times you're going to call your friends a week, if you're going to Skype, if you're going to Zoom, somebody told me about Duo. I don't know Duo, but whatever you got to do, I want you to find ways to stay connected. Yes, we need to practice social distancing, but that doesn't, I wish we could come up with another name. I want us to practice social distancing, but I want you to stay connected in creative ways, okay? So you're going to align your thoughts with what it is you believe. You're going to give yourself grace when you feel some kind of way, when you feel anxious, when you feel overwhelmed. But then you're going to take that thought and align it with what you believe. And then B, you're going to build a schedule based on your personality, what works for you. And then C, you're making a promise that you're going to stay connected. All right, guys. So remember, I said I'm sharing my skills and my strengths. I want you to share your skills and your strengths. If we do that, we will get through this together, and we shall be better after this. I'll talk to you soon.